Hi guys, it's Jake here at Canadian Cutting Edge, and today we've got the Ruike P841-L. Matt at Ruike Canada says that this is his favorite new rake knife that's come out recently, and I can see why he likes it that much. It is a very nice knife. Thank you, Matt, for sending this knife to me to review. For you viewers who are wondering, they give us a discount for reviewers to review these knives. So it's expensive to run a business, especially in Canada. Canada's got such a small market that they can't just give away knives to reviewers, but they give us a discount, so thank you very much. You want to get in the video? Okay. Bandit wants to get in the video. There you go, buddy. Actually, more like he just wants to sit on my lap. See? He doesn't know there's a video going on. Anyhow, this knife, the P841-L from Ruike, sent to me by Ruike Canada, is a very nice knife. I'm liking it an awful lot. They've got CNC milled G10 handle scales in green and black layers. And you've got a drop point blade that is all belly. And all that belly helps it to cut quite well, and you'll see some cut tests. It's a sabre grind, which means a flat grind, and it's a high flat, not a full flat though. Little swedge at the top here, nice drop point, back spacer construction, nice pocket clip that's tip up. I really like this Gunsmoke hardware. It's a really dark gray colored hardware. Thumb studs and hardware looks very nice. So if you're interested in a really nice knife from Ruike, then stick around for a full review. Bye-bye, Bandit. Check out those beautiful colors. Those are just great. You've got different layers of green, black, green, black. When they mill the texture in there, the bottom of those tiny little holes for that texture are just barely reaching into the black, and that really helps set off the color. And then you get solid black, solid green, solid black, solid green. Just very nice. I'm liking it an awful lot. So after the 3 layers of green, then it just turns into all black. You got a black back spacer, nice lanyard hole right there, and it's a tube that goes all the way through, so it's easy to chase paracord through there. 3 screws that hold it together, very strong construction. And we've got some skeletonizing inside here. And we've got the flipper arm that's lined up pretty much just above the pivot, which means it's really easy to activate the flipper. You can do the push down method and have it fly open. You can do the light switch and it'll fly open. I was doing it very lightly. That's why you didn't hear a hard smack. It's so easy to activate this blade. The bearings are made very well. Great lubrication in there, and it just wants to fly open. When the knife is deployed, then of course that turns into a little bit of a finger guard. And we've got a really nice choil, sharpener's choil. Some people call that a Spanish choil. And really nice ricasso there. Not much of it. It's mostly underneath the handle, and I like that. I like having my cutting edge start very close to the handle. And then we've got this saber grind, a nice satin lines that you can see coming down the blade right there. Looks really nice. Model number here, steel type listed right there on the ricasso, 14C28N by Sandvik. Very nice steel, right around 59 Rockwell hardness, give or take a tiny bit either way. And on the top swedge here, we've got the serial number for this particular knife on this side. And the other side has Ruike's name there. We've got thumb studs on this flipper. So you've got the option of thumb stud activating it, which works very well. Or you can flipper it. Either way, works just great. They are labeling this knife on the website as ambidextrous, and I'm left-handed, so yep, I can easily flip a knife left-handed. I think that's the reason they're calling it ambidextrous, is because it's a flipper and you got thumb studs on both sides. And most left-handed guys can activate flippers and even thumb stud knives fairly easily with the left hand. It really doesn't take an awful lot to learn how to do that just one-handed. and this knife is no exception. The tension on the lock bar arm is really good, and so it's not hard to deactivate it to loosen the lock and close the knife. Some really nice jimping on the lock bar there, so that it's easy to get some purchase on it to undo it. There's no blade play on this knife. Back and forth, up and down, even when it's partway open, nothing. Alignment when it's closed is perfect. And lockup is very, very good. It's very much like what I like to see a brand new knife at. And I have not seen a rake knife yet where the lockup is later than I want it to be. So they make a really concerted effort to make their lockup come just right. The detent on this knife is pretty good. I can get this to deploy if I shake it just hard enough. I have to do it off camera because I don't have enough room there. So that's, if this knife was being imported into Canada, CBSA agents may or may not dislike that, but you can buy it from Ruike Canada. It's already in Canada, so there's no risk at all for getting the knife from them. I'll give you the prices and everything later on. I really, really like, and I mentioned it earlier, the hardware here. This, gunsmoke black grayish kind of color that the hardware is. I'll give you some close-up pictures of that. It looks really, really nice. The only thing I say that I'm a little bit disappointed in is I'd be tickled if the pocket clip was done the same way, that nice dark gray right there. Instead of being this shiny stainless color, when it's in your pocket, that would help hide it quite a bit. And I really, really like that an awful lot. One thing I did notice is they call it ambidextrous, but there's no left option for the pocket clip. So, I take a little bit of exception to that term, calling it ambidextrous. That just doesn't make sense because a guy who's left-handed who buys this will have to put this in his pocket, the wrong way, basically. Ambidextrous means you're going to have a pocket clip that goes on either side. A lot of left-handed guys don't care that much, but some do. I'm left-handed, and I really don't care if it's carried right-handed, the right-handed style or not. It really only takes a fraction of a second to orient the knife properly in your hand and use it. So yeah, it's not a big deal to me, but some lefties do think that is a very important factor. I really like this handle shape. It fits really well in the palm of the hand. We've got a really nice finger choil here, and then we've got sort of a negative here and then a swell right here. It fits in the hand really, really well, and it's super comfortable. There's no jimping anywhere except for, on the liner lock release and right here on this lock. You can slide that lock forward and it'll lock it in place so that you can't disengage the liner lock. I'm not fond of that system at all, and I do find that sometimes when I'm using the knife, I'll inadvertently turn that lock on, and then when I go to close the knife, I can't, and then, oh yeah, right, and then I got to go back and do that, and then I can close the knife. I just wish they'd just get rid of that completely. They've got a similar system on their frame lock knives that has a lock system there as well. For people who like those things, they're perfect. They're great. Ruike Knives does an excellent job of execution of making these things, but I'm just not that fond of them. The thumb studs here are this sort of step pyramid shape. I'll give you a close-up picture of those. They're really good. They make it very easy for your thumb to get some traction on it when you go to deploy the blade. And it's not hard at all. You don't have to think twice about where your thumb placement is. You just put your thumb down there and flick, and it's going to grab and deploy. The thumb studs are far enough back that when you're cutting something, slicing through it, it's not going to catch on that thumb stud. That's a good thing. Let's talk about the sizes before I finish talking about the things that I don't like and do like on this knife. So what do we got here? We've got a cutting edge of 9.18 centimeters. That's 3.62 inches. The blade length is shorter, and that's because, the handle comes out to a point right here. So from that point to the tip is 8.93 centimeters, which is 3.51 inches. So 1/10 of an inch is what it is shorter. The blade thickness on this guy, we've got 2.97 millimeters, so basically 3 millimeters, which is 0.1175 inches. The thickness of the edge behind the grind on this knife, it's a little bit hefty there. It's 0.69 millimeters, and I'd rather have it at about 0.55 millimeters. 0.69 millimeters, which is 0.0274 inches. It still cuts very well, and that's largely thanks to this Sandvik steel. This 14C28N is really, really good stuff. Let's talk about the handle now. The handle length is 11.9 centimeters, which is 4.69 inches. The grip area back here is 9.85 centimeters, which is 3.88 inches. The handle thickness, not counting the pocket clip, is 1.52 centimeters, which is 0.597. So, almost 0.6 of an inch handle thickness. That's pretty good. Not bad at all for a knife this size. And the total length of this knife when the blade is deployed is 20.8 centimeters, which is 8.2 inches. The knife weighs 140 grams, which is 4.9 ounces. So for a full-size knife to be under 5 ounces, that's a beautiful thing, and I like it an awful lot. The price for this knife, Canadian dollars, $55.95. US dollars on September 21st. The equivalent is about $45.41. And again, you can buy this from Ruike Canada or RuikeKnives.ca. They'll sell to Canada and United States addresses. This is a really nice knife. The fit and finish is awesome. These steps going up and down here on the handle help give it sort of a rounded shape while still giving it, a little bit of tactile feedback, gives it a little bit of purchase and really good feel in the hand. There's nothing hot in the hand at all about this pocket clip, and that's a really good thing. The fit and finish on all the different parts is excellent. I'll show you what it looks like in the pants pocket. It slides in and out of the pocket very, very well. The pocket clip isn't very large. This green and black and these dark colored screws just sort of hide the thing. So if this pocket clip wasn't shiny, it would just really hide big time. If Ruike Knives is thinking about redoing this, do two things with this pocket clip. Make it left and right attachables. You might have to make two different pocket clips because the opposite sides, it's going to require the opposite shape of this. A lot of knife companies do that. It's not a big deal. It increases the cost just a little bit. But also make this pocket clip in this dark color. That would be just so great. I'm neutral about the back spacer. Between back spacers and open pillar construction, I like both designs, and I find both designs easy to clean, to help clean a knife out. Actually, very often, a back spacer design is easier to clean than a open pillar construction because you got to get around all those different pillars. But this, you just throw a cotton swab in there, a Q-tip, whatever you have, and just wipe it out and you're done instead of having to clean it all around. And the fit and finish back here, it lines up very well with the liners, and the handle scales and everything. It lines up really nicely. That's a good thing. So what don't I like so much about this? Well, I'm not fond of that lock. I already talked about that, but that's neither here nor there, really. It's not like it's blatantly in your face and ugly or anything. It's just, I'd be fine without it. And the only other thing is, I've already talked about that pocket clip, so I don't need to mention it again. So that's very, very little for cons. This really is a very, very nice knife. Let's try cutting some stuff. I haven't done paracord cutting for a while on some of my videos, so let's do that. And 4 layers of paracord should take a little bit of effort to cut through, but it takes very, very little effort. Just cuts through very, very easily. You can slice through it with the belly. That's just a few little hairs kind of static holding it there. Let's get this out of the way. Clean up this spot. So, you can slide and it just cuts really well with the belly. That's just loose, see? It's not a problem at all. And you can cut through that way if you want to. Ooh, the guts flew out of that sucker. Let's try cutting some paper with this. Push cut, trying to cut on the exact same spot all the way down the knife. The paper folded a little bit, so that came off a little bit, but it looks really good. You can hear the cut quality a little bit, and it just cuts quite well. And that's, the factory edge on there. I keep saying it, but I have to keep saying it. I don't really find cut tests to be all that meaningful because I'm going to sharpen this better than the factory does anyway. And if you don't know how to sharpen your knives, that's your next step as a knife enthusiast. Learn how to sharpen knives so that you can make the edge better than the factory does. Once you can make the knife sharper than the factory does, then you're going to be a much happier knife enthusiast. 14C28N is a steel that is both tough and it's got a lot of longevity. The grind will last for quite a while. It'll stay sharp for quite a while is what I mean. You can be able to cut quite a bit with it. There's a channel out there that if you guys are not familiar with, it's called Cedric and Ada Outdoor something. But Peter on that channel, he's from Australia. He often does cut tests and he does it in a fairly good backyard scientific kind of way, but it's decent, reliable numbers. He grinds them all identically, the different kinds of steels on different knives, and does the exact same cut test with a sisal rope. And you can see how good a 14C28N performs, and it does very well for a budget steel. I call this the top budget steel. In fact, I'd almost put this into a mid-grade level of steels. And on some videos, I've said that. So it's right on that borderline between budget and mid-grade, in my opinion. And you get it at a low price. A knife like this for $56, wow. I'm talking Canadian dollars now, $45 US. So a knife like this for $45 US dollars, that's a very good deal. Nothing wrong with that price point at all for this knife. It looks good, feels good, cuts well, and hangs in the pocket good. If you like lanyard holes, they put the lanyard hole way at the back where it belongs instead of up at the top here somewhere stupid. It's a flipper that's got thumb studs, so you can open it either way. Very often flippers with thumb studs have the thumb studs in a stupid spot, but like I said earlier, this is good. Like there's no significant complaints about this knife at all. And so if you like this video, even if you don't like the knife particularly, please click on the thumbs up. Please comment, share, subscribe. And if you subscribe, please click on the bell so you'll be notified of every video and YouTube won't unsubscribe you that way. So thanks for watching. Remember, always cut towards your chum and not your thumb.